Delusions.
They're not delusions. Okay. What's this?
Your French Bordeaux, madame.
Ah,
Thank you, sir.
French Bordeaux.
Carb
Thank you,
loading.
sir.
Carb loading.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's have a seat and chat with these nice folks. It was nice to see the PNs today. We had a visit with the PNs. Renee did a keynote for you this morning and opened the shindig, and I get to close. Thank you, garçon. And we've had such an amazing time here. We want to thank you as a halfway point here maybe and say what a great PELS this is and also what great people you are. We've really been embraced by your community. When they talk about Southern hospitality, they're not kidding. Thank you so much for being just who you are. We appreciate it. One of the things I thought we'd start with is this idea of how our background and where we came from, which is unusual. I know you shared a little bit of that about how we met during your keynote today.
You made a list?
Yeah, give them a quick summary again. You were on GSE team to South Africa.
No, you were on GSC team.
You were on Youth Exchange.
Yes.
To South
Youth
Africa.
Exchange.
And then Rotary went out of your life because you had other things going on.
Well, there wasn't Interact and Rotaract back then. So it was the year of preparation, year abroad, and then there's a year when you return that you're talking to students that are going outbound and some of the students that are visiting, but there wasn't another path at that point. So yeah, it fell away for decades.
And then, meanwhile, I'm doing the GSE experience in 1995. GSE is now called VTT. I don't know how active of a program, Rich, it is anymore. It's still hanging in there, but it's not as popular as GSE was back in the day. GSE was Group Study Exchange. Check this out. Rotary would sponsor a trip for 5 people to go to a foreign country to learn about their industry and teach their industry to other Rotarians in other parts of the world. Yeah, and get this, you could not be a Rotarian to go on the trip. They did it for total strangers. And 2 of us on our group study team came back, joined Rotary, and became district governors, Michael Dubin and me. I didn't plan that. I knew I was going to join Rotary because to go on the GSE, you have to learn more about Rotary in 6 months than most Rotarians learn in 6 years. And I was so impressed, I said, I'm going to join as soon as I get back. I did, and that was my route into the organization. And then when we met on Facebook, we rediscovered... I meant Tinder. No, I didn't. When we met on Facebook, we found out we had not only that in common, but a lot of other stuff. And then since then, we've gotten into a 14-year relationship coming up on. We've been married coming up on 4 years. And I can't tell you how lucky I am to meet somebody late in life that is so perfect for me. I had never been married, and the odds of this happening are astronomical, and I'm just grateful every day. And you don't have to applaud, but she does.
Ditto.
Yeah, ditto. I'm going to move this up a little bit. So this idea of where we came from is interesting because I'm half Italian and half German, but the Italian heritage is so much more interesting. We never talk about the German part, and I just tell everybody I'm Italian. Renee knows that I'm actually from Sicily, and what is it that you tell people when we meet them?
That you're Sicilian.
Yeah, you say I'm not Italian.
It's a very clear distinction, and Italians like to make a very clear distinction from a Sicilian versus Italian.
Do we have any Italians in the room? Yeah. So you may know that Sicily thinks of Italy, the mainland, sometimes not in a favorable way. And I thought Italy had cast aspersions on Sicily, but it was the other way around. Sicily said, we don't need you up in the north. You were from the Netherlands.
Mighty Netherlands.
My Netherlands.
Mighty Netherlands.
Mighty Netherlands. And it's a small little country the size of what, Massachusetts?
And? We control waterways.
You brought a few spices to the United States. That's about it.
We've done a lot more than that all around the globe.
Okay.
You
So,
guys have kind of remained in your little area and wreaked havoc.
I believe she's referring to the Mafia. So we have some fun talking about our heritage, where we come from. There's a friendly competition in the house because we're both Rotarians. We've both been club presidents. We were comparing membership numbers. It's crazy. You don't want to have dinner at our house. And also, we both are professional coaches. So it's a lot of Zoom in the house. So much Zoom, so little vodka. And also now both speakers and authors. So it's an interesting Venn diagram that we have. And then to be able to speak at events like this, we get a very rarefied look at the Rotary world. I'm speaking at 6 PELs. Renee's got a couple coming up, including this one. And we meet so many Rotarians. We learn what's working and we learn what's not working. And I don't mind sharing both with you. And we're going to do a little Q&A tonight later to talk about it if you want to know.
I think the other aspect that's been really rewarding for us is that we've been able to put our vocation and our avocation together. So being able to come to events like this and share what we do in our private life with the people that we enjoy meeting and grow to love, that expands our giving community, is just undeniably a win in every aspect. And personally, I can say that since COVID, it has been very rewarding for me in the field that I'm in to see Rotary embrace Rotarians taking care of themselves more and more, because it wasn't something that was really talked about previously. And I can tell you, from going all over the world and doing things with Rotary, some of the hardest, most sacrificing people I've ever met in my life who will sacrifice themselves. And I really love that this is starting to be something that's being talked about at Rotary, not just PELS events, but at DISCONs, that we really need to take care of ourselves and each other from a health standpoint so that we can continue to do the work that we're doing. So I enjoy that.
So all of that's fun, enjoy the Rotary presentation and all that stuff. But we're at the end, we're still a married couple, and there's stuff. There's stuff in every relationship, right? There's little competition, little things. I'll give you an example. You mind? She minds. When we met 14 years ago, Renee was very complimentary about my sense of style and fashion, and she even liked my decor in my bachelor pad. Today, 14 years on, I'm not even allowed to pick out the shower curtain liner. Not the shower curtain, the liner to the shower curtain. It's beyond my sensibility, apparently. That hurts my feelings.
Is there more on the list?
Oh, I got a list.
Or is that a top
I got
important
a list.
one?
Do you want to take a turn?
Oh, no, you're perfect in every way.
Yes, thank you. When we met, I had notifications on my phone. Why wouldn't I? I lived alone, not on my phone all the time. I need to let people, I want to be responsive in my business, and so I had a lot of notifications, the bells, the chimes, and the whoosh, all that stuff. And Renee moves in, and she says, you got to turn those off. You're living with somebody now. I said, what now? Because I like my notifications. But I'm a good husband, and I wanted to be a good partner, and I turned off all my notifications. But to this day, Renee's mom's signal notification comes through every morning when they exchange.
Careful.
And it used to be, this is funny, it used to be a barking dog, like a big German Shepherd. And we were traveling in the Middle East one time, and we had a driver, and they don't like dogs. And we're in the back seat in this loud woof, 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 and he about drove off the road. I said, you got to change that. So now she's got a quacking duck for her mom every morning, and I have no notifications whatsoever. Because our relationship is reciprocal.
Exactly.
She wanted a cat. I wanted no animals, so we compromised. Now we have 2 cats and a dog. Because our relationship is reciprocal.
Should we talk about the houseplants too?
Yeah, have a go at the houseplants. What you got?
Well, we've traveled so much that we found that we found that it's better to have artificial plants so that you don't kill them all when you're gone. Seems reasonable. We leave, they're alive. We come home, they're alive. Didn't have to water them. Bring somebody in to water them.
I don't like artificial plants. You don't either? For starters, when she gets them, I water them for 3 weeks because I don't know they're fake. And then they start to stink and mildew up, so that's my bad. But I'd rather have real plants. But again, that's a little couples thing, right? How many couples are here tonight? I know some of you left your spouse or partner at home. Yeah, so you're feeling me. And you're thinking about who's back home, maybe. It's all right. We work at home, and I think, to be polite to the person you work with and live with, when you walk into their workspace, you should maybe say, "Excuse me," or "May I interrupt," or something of that nature. But the redhead doesn't. And I end up like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. "I'm typing, Wendy," when she comes in. But she needs something, or she wants to, because we don't work in a formal environment, she thinks that this is okay. And it is okay.
I have theme songs.
Yes, every time she comes home from the gym, she sings Warrior by Patti Smith and Scandal. Everybody know the song? That's good walk-off music, Warrior, if you can find it. So she's got a great spirit, and of course all this is done in teasing. Oh, I did want to say this. Renee, I wouldn't say she takes Christmas presents seriously, but every year I'm presented with a PowerPoint slideshow of the gifts that she would like to receive that year.
With direct links.
With direct links to the products.
Yes.
Yeah. Applause.
I'm making it easy for you. See? Teamwork.
Applause, mostly from the women. Shall we talk about dishwasher management? Yeah, always a crowd favorite.
All right. The plates are supposed to go where the plates go.
In the dishwasher.
In the dishwasher. Silverware goes where the silverware goes. Cups, bowls, all these things have a place. I have to Sigma the dishwasher every time he puts anything in it because there's no way you're going to get what you need to get in there, like maximize the efficiency of it. He's pretty good at that because otherwise it just sits in the sink. So he's very good at putting things in the dishwasher, but we haven't figured out how he figures out where they go.
I do fill the dishwasher, Vicky, but I don't fill it correctly if you're tracking this. Because there's stuff.
More important things on that list?
Like what?
I'm just asking.
Oh, yeah, I got a list.
Oh.
Renee likes to help me find parking spots because I'm incapable of finding a parking spot. She believes this so fervently, she bought an app with a camera on the front of the car so that when I'm not with her, she can still find a parking spot for me. Isn't that nice? So considerate. You forgot about that one, didn't you?
Well, you get better spots, don't you?
We're young and vital. We like our private moments.
Where are you going with this?
Yeah. And like most couples, there's a signal that we send each other, it's time, and we can do it in different ways, of course. But what happens is that sometimes the other person's not in the mood. You hearing me? And so the way Renee tells me she's not in the mood, it's what she says and the way she says it. I'll try to articulate it. She says, I'll hint that I'm feeling sexy, and she says to me, nope. She says, it's reading night. Like reading, which is the opposite of what I wanted to do. Again, a couple's thing.
Didn't think you were going to go there.
Well, I don't want to do things.
Not that kind of a conference.
They enjoyed it. They're still smiling.
What does any of this have to do with Rotary?
Nothing. We can go back to Rotary. We are currently on a little PELS tour, if you will. I'm going to speak at 6 of these events. This is my second one. I have 2 next weekend, 2 the following weekend, and then another one the weekend after that. So it's pretty Rotary heavy. I don't mind. I don't charge. I'm a professional speaker, but I don't charge Rotary for talks. I told the PNs that today. It's true. It's my pleasure. I figured out, I logged the hours of how much time I spend on PELS, just, being with you nice people this weekend. And it's close to 1,000 hours a year. And then I calculated how many hours I would spend with Rotary if I just went to my club meeting once a week, which is 50 hours. And I'm doing 1,000 hours. And once in a while, my club looks at me and they go, you're not the best Rotarian, the best traditional Rotarian. I think I'm a pretty good Rotarian. There's so many ways to give back.
And this is way more fun. And this is way more fun.
Oh yeah, this is so much fun. Another thing about the Rotary Connection is that I told you we get to see what works and we get to see what doesn't work. Renee shared a bit with the PNs this afternoon. I wanted to share it with all the PEs here because you're looking for something called a legacy project in your president year. This is the thing that gets people to rally around you. I don't know how to break this to you, but just because you're club president next year doesn't mean everything's going to change. You come walk in the room, you kick both doors of the saloon open, and you go, there's a new sheriff in town. And everybody in the club goes, I don't think so. We went through this last year. Don't even try it. I mean, think about this. You come back from PELS, and you got all these great ideas of things that you can do, and the club's not having any of it. So you're going to need what's called a legacy project to capture their imagination and get them to rally around not you, but the changes in the club. And when Renee was president in 13-14 of the Troy Rotary Club, and by the way, President Distinguished is the rating. Do they still do that? Would they rate your club based on how many, like a role model club? Is it called Distinguished? It's called Rotary Citation. So you should all target this. It means that you got X number of members, and you raised X number of dollars, and you did X number of hours of service. Now you're a role model club, and you get to brag about that the rest of your life, as that's important. More importantly, you show the club that it can be done, and it's a challenge to the next president to duplicate. So it's pretty cool. And Renee did that in our club. Even I wasn't distinguished. I couldn't pull it off. But the redhead did, and one of the ways she did it was this thing she called the Buddy Bench Project. Would you tell everybody about it? And maybe they'll be inspired to either do the Buddy Bench Project or find something like it.
Well, John Hugo had talked about the intersection of community and commerce, and that we often weren't looking at that enough in Rotary. And how do we start to get more businesses interested in Rotary again, whether it's from a sponsorship standpoint or a membership standpoint, or even helping your club look at different types of memberships, like having corporate memberships. So I was looking at what wasn't in our club at that period of time. We were in one of the largest business communities in the state of Michigan, and yet we had very few professionals in our club. Our club had become a predominantly retired club. Now, there's not anything wrong with that. It's just that it wasn't a reflection of the community, the school system, or anything. So by looking at how can we start to intersect these other areas, schools, teachers, parents, students, and business community, and I learned about this thing called the Buddy Bench, which is an anti-bullying tactic. And you can look them up online. It's a phenomenal project. But what we did that year is we got businesses involved that had never heard of Rotary, big corporations, who sponsored benches. Every elementary school in the city of Troy got 2 benches. And it was sponsored by people they never knew, that we never knew, who now became part of our Rotary Connection and part of the community. But we got to bring all these disparate areas back together again, and they're still part of our, it's not so much our Rotary community, but it's part of our Rotary pipeline. They don't involve themselves in everything we do, and a lot of the big companies don't send somebody to a meeting every week. But they make very clear what they want to do to be part of Rotary, like they want to be the headline sponsor at every event. Great. They want to write a check for that? Fantastic. And they help our events launch at a different level. So it was just a really good way to start to bring more back into the club that reflected the community we were actually in.
So think about that. She got business involved with our folksy little club that wasn't really connected to the business community. Troy, Michigan has at least a dozen global headquarters in it. Some of you know Troy, Michigan, and outside of Detroit. So a lot more people work there in the daytime than people that live there. So it's a big commerce place. She got the schools involved because, of course, we're putting buddy benches in 21 of the schools. The media shows up. Tell them about how you created the high-end videos that you promoted the event.
Oh, this was a really cool thing. So Michigan is one of the states that has, if you're in a car accident and have some sort of a debilitating condition afterwards, traumatic brain injury, they have a rehabilitation process. And part of that process is giving people new skills so that they can get back into the workforce, whatever their capacity may be. So there is one of these companies that is a complete high-end TV studio production company. And they have to have projects that they do for free. So we were, again, able to serve another community and get our sponsors who put in good money for this project to get actual commercial grade product that they could then promote on their social media. So it was just another way to say, how can we expand this program, get the sponsors what they really want, which is some exposure, and also benefit another area that needed help and resources.
So then the media picked it up. So the day of the installation, she's got this contingency and paparazzi following her to the different schools. I mean, it's just wonderful. And I was jealous because I didn't think of any of this during my year. And that's that little competitive thing, you know. I was very happy for her, but I didn't think of it myself. Bravo. I mean, fantastic.
And the best thing is they're still in place. The school still sends us photos and publishes photos of kids using those benches to this day.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So this competition thing, it seems like it's with us every day. It's friendly, of course, always. But she's like a warrior working out. She does 100-mile bike rides. Any cyclists? I know we met a guy on Thursday night. There he is, yeah. 100-mile bike rides. She did the Tour de Tucson, which was sponsored by Rotary in Arizona, of course. And she does 100 miles, gets off the bike, she's smiling, taking pictures. I rode 20. I'm wheezing now. I'm wheezing now just thinking about it. I get off the bike doing 26, and everybody kept asking me, you going to do 50 next year? I said, nope, I'm good. 26 miles on a bike with no way. So that was interesting, trying to deal with that. But I love her competitive spirit. I love that she brings it. She never phones it in. And in that way, maybe a role model for everybody in the room as you're getting ready to do your presidency, that you don't want to phone it in. You don't want this to be the year where they say, oh, that was Ken's year. That was the lost year. We didn't really do anything during Ken's year. And the Legacy Project solves that, the Legacy Project that you get everybody excited about. I have an offer for you. I shared it with the PNs earlier. I do a fundraiser seminar, again, at no cost. I don't charge my own 501c3. It's my gift. If you'd like to do a professional development seminar in your town, I will get you a $10,000 to $15,000 net. Net is the money you keep, and 100-plus emails of leadership in the community that is not in Rotary yet. You fill your membership pipeline for a year in one morning with my event. It's a proven concept. We've raised $250,000 so far in North America, and I'm on my way to $1 million, and that will be my legacy gift to the organization I love so much. I can only do 2 or 3 of these pro bono events a year. Sometimes I get a lot of interest, but the club's not a good fit, or they want to do it another time. And all that's fine. I'm going to share my cell phone number with you. Here's how it works. You can text me even while I'm on stage and tell me you're interested. And now you're in the queue. We'll do a quick Zoom call so I can answer questions for you. And if you'd like to do it, we can talk about doing it. And get ready to learn about marketing, because I provide all the materials, pre-written emails. We provide the 100-day timeline for the event. It's pretty cool. I don't know anybody else that's doing this, and it's my offer to you today. We wanted to talk to you about this idea that we work from home, and that we do this coaching from home. And I mentioned the Zoom already, and that we have a lot of overlapping time in the household. And that's fun. We love helping people. But to be able to travel together has brought us even more adventures, and we wanted to talk a little bit about the travel and how it works. By the way, and I'm sorry for my cough, I'm getting over a cold. By the way, I love my club, but my best Rotary experiences have happened outside my own club. Raise your hand if that's true for you. Yeah, it's not uncommon, and it's not an insult to your club, even during the year that you're president. We need more of that cross-pollination. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. Larry talked about the different ways we can grow. Learning from each other is very valuable. There are people in the room that pull off 100-person events like the one I just talked about at the drop of a hat. And there are clubs that have no idea how to go about it. And you're sitting next to them right now. They're at the table next to you. And all you have to do is start talking to them. And you got almost another full day to do it. So we hope you do that. So traveling together, you've got some favorite gigs, some favorite experiences. You kind of got the gypsy spirit like I do. Do you have a favorite trip?
So I think my most favorite trip so far was when we went to the International Rotary Convention in South Korea. Because it just seemed so, to be in such an unusual place and to be walking down the street waving at people you know was fascinating to me, to go halfway around the world to experience it. But it was also a way to see Rotary. If you haven't been to an international convention, you have not seen Rotary. Because the international scale of what this organization does and the people you will meet from 200, how do we count the countries now? 210 countries or something like that based on how they're recognized. It is truly a global organization. And when you get out of your own club in your own district and you get to see that and you get to feel it and you get to understand the connection at a very visceral level, I think that's the thing that really starts to put all the pieces together. And if you reach a point where, like in our own club, a lot of our best experiences are not there because we're just doing so much outside of the club. So it's not that the club isn't a great club, it's just that we've been able to take advantage of all the things outside the club. So I think that's my favorite.
And when we do go back, we tell them what we've been doing, and they're very interested. They'd like to replicate it. They'd like to
Some of them.
find a way to do some of it. And it's, like I say, it's pretty cool. A couple little couples saying about traveling. The first one is this idea that...
Wait a minute, is this more on your list?
Yeah, it's more on the list.
Okay.
Renee has figured out that the longer she packs, the more she takes on the trip. So now she starts packing 15 minutes before we leave. Working out great. Here's the other thing. I'm not fond of this, but she does it. When we're at the airport, when she's talking to TSA, she refers to me as her service animal. Not a fan. TSA likes it.
Big time.
I'm thinking about favorite trips that we've done in non-favorite trips. You know, sometimes trips don't go the way you want them to go. I'll tell you the non-favorite, and then to close with a favorite. We'll do some Q&A if you want, if we have time. This is a story that I don't tell often, but I'm happy to share it with you. I had a commitment to speak at another PELS. Back then it was PETS, Land of Lincoln in Effingham. Effingham, Illinois is not an easy place to get to. It's in southern Illinois. It's a junction of two intersections, but it's hard to fly into it. And I had a flight back to Detroit, and I was going to catch a flight in Detroit at 9 o'clock at night and then fly to Effingham for a keynote, a breakfast keynote the next morning. And this was way before I met the redhead. And with the first flight got in so late, I missed my connection. And there is no other flight to Effingham, Illinois, and I have a keynote. Has this happened to you, Vicki? And I have a keynote, yeah, at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, I grew up in a rock and roll band with my brothers. I toured the country in a pop band, and we opened for Rick Springfield and Corey Hart. You remember these names? And Joe Jett. And I played bass guitar in the band, and I will tell you something, I played every night. I played sick, I played bleeding. You don't need to know about that one. But the show must go on. There's a level of commitment when you have an obligation to somebody. And I had an obligation to my brothers to play bass guitar. If I didn't hit that stage, we would be canceled. We might not be invited back to the bar. We wouldn't get paid, right? So all kinds of wheels start to fall off the wagon. So I learned really early on, you do what you need to do to make it happen. So in Detroit at 9:30 at night, I rented a car, and I drove 7.5 hours to St. Louis. Not St. Louis, I drove right to Effingham. I got to my room just in time to take a shower and show up for scrambled eggs. And I did that keynote. And I didn't tell anybody about how hard it was or what I went through. I just did it because I had a commitment to people that I had promised something to. And that's kind of how you should think of your presidency. They don't want you to sleepwalk through this. They don't want you to phone it in. And they don't want you to let them down. Well, thank you for, I got a lot of miles on that one. So I'll close with a fun story. And it's from this trip. We got here a day early because one of my brothers lives in Baton Rouge. And we stayed at a hotel on my own dime, our own dime, and visited with Rob and his family. So we're in town a little bit early for the event. And there's a restaurant up here on the corner, Natchez people. What's the name of it?
Frankie's. Frankie's, I think.
What?
Frankie's.
Frankie's, do you know it?
Oh, awesome.
Oh, man, I love this place. If you get a chance to stop into Frankie's before you leave town, you got to just walk in and look at it. And it's amazing, the way it's decorated and stuff. And so we had stopped for just a casual lunch. And this is a pleasant surprise because you don't plan any of this stuff in life. Sometimes just stuff comes together. Now imagine, I've been to 6 continents to speak. And I'm about to tell you, one of my favorite moments on the road happened on Thursday when I walked into Frankie's with this beautiful woman. And we sat down, and we had just come from Louisiana. I'm now in Mississippi. I'm listening to Elvis sing Kentucky Rain. And we meet a chef from Jordan who served us gumbo. And I sat back and I said to her, this is about as good as it gets. Yeah. Loved it. And it's part of this trip here with you today. And so you want to look for the nectar. Sometimes it doesn't come from the places you think it's going to come from. Sometimes it's attached to something, you know. But you can do it. Rotary never asks you to do something that you can't do. We love you. We want you to be successful, all of us. That's why, did I give you my number yet? Okay, that's why I'm going to give you my cell number. We support you. We want you to be successful. After this event is over, Churchman wants you to be successful. Brian wants you to be successful. Everybody, trustees, Larry Lunsford, everybody. 248-224-9667. 248-224-9667. I cannot promise you that Vicki is going to give you her cell number. But the gauntlet is down. Brian will give you his bank account. He's that kind of a guy. He just will. He's a numbers guy. Do you have anything else you want to share with the nice people?
No, I just want to thank you for having us. This is my first experience down here in the South, in Mississippi, and it's a blast, really enjoying it. And look at every opportunity this year, no matter how challenging, as something that you're designed to do. If you don't know how to do it yet, figure it out. You will get there, and it's going to be one of the best years of your life, I guarantee it.
I offered Q&A earlier. Sometimes this is a wild card and sometimes the most popular part of the program. You can ask us anything, business or personal. We'll handle it and answer. And then I have one quick thing to say before we say goodbye. Questions about anything we've talked about tonight, anything about your challenges ahead of you as PEs or PNs or AGs? Maybe you would need another drink in order to ask a question.
On to karaoke.
The bartender says, wrap it up, man. I got to get some people in my line. I want to thank a few people. I want to thank Brian Hall because he's been such a champion friend to me for so long. And we started this small in this organization. Brian is now taller than me. because he's a director, but he is unchanged from the touching soul, the sensitive person that he was years ago. You should chat him up. He loves music. He's a real person, and he's just a terrific guy. I want to thank Vicki. We see you so much on the speaking circuit now, and you raise the bar for speakers everywhere, and we get to hear you tomorrow a bit. And I want to thank this guy, Big Rich, who I've also known for a long time. I've seen him working in many different capacities. I won't bore you with all of the scenarios, but this guy, he comes on like he might kick your ass. But he's a pussycat, this guy. He is softer than you can imagine, and I'm honored to know you, sir. I really do appreciate the invitation to come with you today. So we have AGs tomorrow.
Yes.
And Rotoractors tomorrow. And we have a keynote tomorrow by me. I close tomorrow. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the karaoke.
And it's dark, and the moon